Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Diablo 3. My name is Wilfred. In this episode, I would like to share with you a compilation video, something that our clan has recorded. One of those random nights when we play together GL95, farming for the legendary gem upgrade. So that was a fun part of it. Just a little bit recap for the season 21. Obviously, everyone wants to play the Demon Hunter new set, the Gears of the Dreadlands, because it's so powerful. So, need not to say, everyone in our clan sort of like inclined to roll Demon Hunter, including myself initially. But then our group wanted some kind of diversity, so I'm being like assigned, I would say, to play something different. So I picked the Necromancer new set, a Masquerade of the Burning Carnival, and I've got a video on sharing the build I have work in progress. And so far, by the way, the build is working out pretty well. So that is the diversity I've got here. So instead of everyone playing Demon Hunter, Demon Hunter. Gears of Dreadlands, at least one of us are playing a little bit different role here. So as you can see in this video, it's kind of brings very interesting gameplay to the group as the Necromancer. I'm using the new set that is also merged with the Captain Crimson set as well, for the resource cost reduction as well as the cooldown reduction. And you can see that Land of the Dead does get popped quite often, and that's great because all the mobs just get frozen except those that with affixes of Juggernaut. And they make it a lot better for the group. That's number one, because when the mobs are frozen, I mean that's pretty easy as well. And also the difference between this one and the one that we've got I've got the earlier on is I don't use Blood Rush for this group play, mainly because it's a little bit harder for us. It's not something that you can just skip content and move and like just randomly hit stuff and mobs die. You have to got to focus and play a little bit. So instead of using Blood Rush, and by the way I use Lost Time on my offhand, so I do get some kind of speed boost as I deal cold damage. I use the Aura of Frailty. Now that's good thing about it is that because of the new set, centered around Simulacrum, and if you look at one of the runes in Simulacrum, once you apply a curse, you apply all three of them. That what it means is that you can curse of frailty. Mobs will die at lower than 15% of health. That help the DPS tremendously, especially when against the Guardians. Then you have the Leech as well. So any target that you hit while it's being cursed, you get a life kind of regen as well, which is kind of nice and decent. And last but not the least, you have the Decrepify as well, that will slow down the target, as well as to reduce their damage output by 30%. So that again is pretty good for the group, so long as they are near me when I curse all these enemies. So it does give a pretty interesting way of gameplay. And plus I have Nemesis as well, so I got through all the shrines will spawn elite, so that is pretty nice as well. And on top of that, because of my bone armor dislocation kind of like a rune, I get to stun target as I move as well when I do the bone armor. So all in all, a pretty decent support. With a decent amount of DPS, not the greatest, although I do get to kill stuff as well. But I think at higher rift side there's a glass ceiling whereby this build may not be as competitive in terms of DPS compared to, like, say, Demon Hunters, Gears of Dreadland. However, I mean it is really tanky. That ever since I've got the Necromancer geared up, I mean, so far it just I don't recall any recent defeat at all. I just it's fine. It's really tanky. A lot of damage reduction. Of course, I gear for that as well. But yeah, I mean a lot of damage reduction. A lot of like Simulacrum kind of help as well. The new set kind of bonus kind of help as well. So I mean, all in all, a very pleasant kind of like gameplay so far. Have a pretty decent role when it comes to group play. It's not as lazy or random as just like other class that I play or other build that I play. It requires a little bit of strategy, a little bit of thinking as well. You don't blindly pop the cooldown power on, you know, once it's off the cooldown, because all the cooldown reduction is being shared among the cooldown power. So you know there's only a limited there's only a limited amount of cooldown reduction you can have within a cycle. So you want to think, you know, do you want the blood rush? If you use blood rush, do you want to use bone armor? Do you want to use land of dead? So there's a bit of thinking, rationalizing the you know, when do you pop certain cooldown, I like it, under what circumstances, and also, like, for example, do you want to take a big hit you know, at the beginning of the cycle, so that you can get the 20% reduction through the passive as well, you know, when you lose a certain amount of health. So all in all, it kind of like have a sense, like, you know, when you look at your cooldown reduction of the Land of Dead, you have to got the sense that, oh, am I on a faster pace of cooldown reduction, or am I not? So it's quite a fair bit of thinking, observation around it as well. And, you know, need not to say, it does have its weaknesses as well when it comes to Juggernaut kind of like fixes. Do you want to take the elite down, or do you want to just skip them through, because they are just not, you know, your necromancer is just not too good against them. So yeah, I mean, I like that. I like the fact that there's a fair bit of thinking. I like the fact that even though Gear of Dreadlands Demon Hunter is very mobile, but the fact that I've got Lost Time and equipped in my offhand, and I'm able to keep up with them as well, you know, together at a higher rift, of course. At a lower rift, you know, when you're farming lower rift, then there's no point doing the Aura of Frailty, or, you know, just do a blood rush all the way. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun there. Gearing wise, is still a long way to go. I need to augment one of my gear first. I think that is the first thing first, and then complete my Guardian kind of journey. Almost there, by the way, and I still need to look for quite a lot of items to either upgrade or craft, or, you know, I think there's still a fair bit of crafting to go, because I'm using a Captain Crimson as well. Those are crafted kind of sets, so I need to get some bounty materials and to hope for ancient, so that I can do some augmentation on the gear. But all in all, still a long way to go, and that is I think that's what the fun part is about this. And I'm kind of optimistic as well on this build that I've come up with, because if I don't have any augmentation, then, you know, with only 1/3 of my items are being ancient, and I can still do like 90 pretty at ease, I think can potentially push to 110, I guess. I think that is where I would target this season for my Necromancer to be. If I can go higher with my group, then of course all the better. That's subjected to a lot of other things as well, because there's an upper kind of like limit to what this build can do. Now, of course, I can sacrifice some of the tankiness for the added kind of like damage. For example, I keep one of the new reworked shoulder to give me a 50% damage reduction when my essence is not full. You know, that is a pretty good kind of like a shoulder, because most of the time, unless I'm on Land of the Dead, which of course I'm not in danger, my essence is not going to be full, and it's going to be like you know, less than 100%. So 50% of damage reduction is a good thing. However, if I can, you know, not use that, I can use the one of the gloves that add 50% kind of 20% kind of cold damage to the overall set. So that is also an option. So I'll continue to experiment, and feel free to drop me any question that you may have. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye.